Can I tell you a secret? Decluttering doesn't need to be hard, and it doesn't need to be overwhelming. And actually, you can begin making tremendous strides towards decluttering your home and keeping it organized and clutter-free in just 1 minute. So in this video, I want to share with you a number of powerful 1-minute decluttering habits that will empower you to keep clutter at bay and to create and maintain a more organized home. Of course, these essentially mini habits aren't a replacement for full-scale declutters. Those still have their place, and I want to be real with you, not everything can be done in under a minute. But what you'll find is that by implementing these habits, you'll end up needing to do those larger declutters less often. And when you do them, there will be less that you need to get rid of because you've already been decluttering just as you live your life. But with that in mind, let's dive into these 1-minute decluttering habits and begin with one that has been absolutely revolutionary for me, and that's to set up and start using a donation box. And this could be a box, a bin, a crate, really whatever you have on hand, but you want to find some kind of bin and just set it aside as a dedicated donation box. And all this really is a convenient drop spot for the things that you've decided to declutter. And that way, as you're getting ready in the morning and find a clothing item that no longer fits, or are putting the dishes away and come across a mug that you can't even remember when the last time was that you used it, you can just put those items in the donation box immediately because you kind of have a designated spot for the things that are going to be leaving your home, rather than just postponing getting rid of the item or waiting until you're doing a larger scale declutter. So it really just makes kind of a lifestyle of continual decluttering so much easier. It really makes decluttering feel effortless too, because you're able to do it as you go instead of it always needing to be this big event. And then also too, that box also serves as just a great reminder that whenever you see it, to kind of be on the lookout for things that you might be able to declutter. We've had one of these for several years now, and it really is just such a powerful tool in your decluttering arsenal. But then another great, very quick habit to get into is to use the 1 in, 1 out rule. This is a great one to help keep clutter in check in your home. And the way that this rule works is essentially every time you bring one item into your house, you should also be letting go of something at the same time. And that way, you never run into the problem where you're just accumulating, and instead you're able to develop a really healthy rhythm of bringing things in while also letting things go, thus maintaining the status quo. So the next time you buy a new piece of clothing or pair of shoes, see if you might be able to let go of something at the same time as well. But then something else you can do, either as you're getting ready in the morning or preparing to go to bed at night, is to toss, to recycle, or to gift empty, expired, or products that you don't use that are hygiene related. And that's a lot, so let's break that down a bit. First, a big problem that I find in bathrooms is that we'll hold on to empty or near empty products for way longer than we should. We'll use like 95% of a product and then stop using that item while still letting it stay untouched in our bathroom for months. So next time you come across a product like that, either toss or recycle it. And the same thing goes for anything that's expired, or the consistency of it just isn't what it used to be. And then finally for this one, there's a good chance that you may also come across just some products that you don't like or that didn't work for you. When that happens, what I like to do, rather than simply throwing it away, is to try to gift it to a friend or a family member who might get value from it. Of course, you want to make sure that they're actually going to use it, but it can be a great alternative to throwing something out. And really, if you can get in the habit of taking action on those categories of items just as you're getting ready, you really can prevent about 90% of the clutter that often creeps into our bathrooms from ever building up. Along those lines of stopping clutter in its tracks before it ever begins to build up, something else that makes such a difference is just to say no to freebies when they're offered to you. So often, different companies and organizations and events will offer all kinds of different freebies, whether that's a hat, a water bottle, a t-shirt, even like toothpaste and toothbrush if you go to the dentist's office. It really is crazy how much stuff just gets handed to us on a regular basis. But the reality is, most of the stuff that we're given, we don't actually need. And in fact, those freebies and promotional items can very quickly become a source of clutter in our homes. So one of the best ways to keep your home clutter-free when it comes to freebies is just to not bring them into your house in the first place. So next time you're offered a free item, before accepting it, just ask yourself, do I really need this? And if necessary, turn the item down so that you can maintain a clean and decluttered home. Okay, but then let's talk about what you can do when you come across a particularly messy space. Whether that's your closet, your pantry, your junk drawer, really any space that you look at and you just know it's gonna take more than a minute, and it might take more like 5 or 10 or even longer. In situations like that, rather than just ignoring the space and saving it for later, one thing that I like to do is just to set a timer for 1 minute and to try racing against the clock and just see how much you can declutter, reset, and organize in that time. You might be surprised by how much you're able to get done. The thing is, with spaces like this, some action is better than no action. If you slowly chip away at it, maybe a few times over the course of the day or a course of a couple of days, you really can make a dramatic impact in that area. So see what you're able to do in that time and then just revisit it as needed. But then this next one is a big one, and that's if there's an item or two that you've been wanting to sell but have just never quite gotten around to it, take 1 minute and do it now. I find that especially with items that we're wanting to sell, it is so easy to put listing them off. And so things will linger in our homes for weeks or even months just waiting to be put up for sale. If that's something that you're often guilty of, break the cycle, list that item now, and then just get in the habit too of, as you decide to sell items, actually put them up for sale. That way they can get out of your home, out of your life, and stop causing clutter to linger in your home. But then another easy option, if selling something might be too much work or if it's just not worth a lot of money, something else you can do is to share it in a buy nothing group. And this is one kind of more responsible way of decluttering the things that you've decided to let go of that I've recently become such a fan of. Before items that you've decided to let go of, see if there's a buy nothing group in your area, or maybe even start one with some friends. I have one with several friends in our local area that we just started, and it has been such an amazing resource. And essentially all it is a place for people to post the things that they no longer need, and it allows other people to claim for free items that they would love and use. And what's great about these two is it's a great way to get rid of items that you can't traditionally donate. So for example, in our local Buy Nothing group, I recently shared a handful of moisturizers, lotions, and things like that that just didn't work out for me for whatever reason. And they were all almost immediately claimed by other people who it sounds like they'll be a much better fit for product-wise than I was. So that can be another amazing resource. But again, make sure that you're taking that action. Take that 10 seconds, take that 30 seconds to take the picture that you need to write out the description of what the item is before posting it and actually get that item out of your home. Then another just very practical habit is, as you're getting out or putting away food from your fridge or your pantry, if you notice expired food, throw it out. If you do it as you notice it, not only will it help you to keep your fridge or your pantry clean and tidy, but it will also help to ensure that no food in your home will ever get to a place where it's super nasty. You know what I'm talking about, when there's like mold growing on the mold. No one wants that. So just toss the expired food as you notice it. But then something you can do too that I think is really cool and motivating, especially when it comes to more long-term decluttering, is to take pictures of your space as you go. Catalog your decluttering progress. Sometimes it can be difficult to tell if you're making any headway, especially when it comes to larger scale declutters, but I promise you are. So take pictures before, after, and along the way. What I find is that by doing this, it really helps keep you motivated to continue decluttering. Plus afterwards, when you're finished, it really does give you something tangible to look back on and to be proud of. But then moving on, let's talk about some quick things that you can do either when your donation box fills up or after you have finished a larger scale declutter to get those items out of your house. Personally, what I like to do, especially since our local donation center is only a few minutes away, is to put my donations by the door, or better yet, in the car. And that way, the next time that I'm heading out the door, that I'm about to run errands, I see that bag, that box, I'm reminded of it, and it's really easy for me to just stop by their local donation center, drop those off before continuing on with anything else that I have to do. So it's something easy you can do that just removes one of those barriers that often prevents us from taking action on the items that we've decided to let go of. But then if there isn't a donation center near you, or if it's a bit more of a drive, something else you can do is just to schedule it in your calendar. Find a time to go, put it in your weekly agenda, and just treat it like an appointment. You know, you're not going to back out for no reason of a dentist or a doctor's appointment, and you have to treat this the same way. Just find a time to do it and then get it done. Those mere seconds that you spent putting it on your calendar will be so incredibly worth it, because it's really going to enable you to take action on those items, and again, to make sure that they aren't just staying in your house long term. Then let's talk about what's very much an ongoing source of clutter. It's something that's always coming into our lives, and that's paper clutter. This is something that you want to deal with as it comes in to prevent it from building up. So whenever you get mail or a package in, take those few seconds and take action on it immediately. So break down and recycle any cardboard boxes or junk mail, and then for anything that comes in that is important, just take whatever the appropriate action is on it. Like a number of these habits, if you do this consistently as stuff comes in, can prevent clutter from ever building up. But then along those lines too, something else that you'll want to do is to catch it early. If you see a pile of junk building up either at the bottom of your stairs, in a bathroom cabinet, or anywhere else, deal with it now. Just put everything away and declutter as needed. If you're able to stop the small messes in their tracks, really can take you mere seconds to deal with while saving you hours worth of cleaning in the long run. Then we talked about scheduling donation drop-offs, but then something else you can do when you come across a particularly messy area in your house that you just know it's gonna take a while to go through. What you can do is schedule a decluttering session for that messy area. Find a time, whether it's a Saturday afternoon, an evening, or whatever works best for you, that you can spend some dedicated time towards tackling that messy area. Again, you might not be able to tackle the entire problem in a minute, but by getting it on the calendar, you can ensure that it's actually going to get taken care of. Then let's talk about a bit more of a specific situation for clothing items that you often try on but never actually wear out. Next time you put on an item like that and then decide to take it off and wear something else instead, really take a moment to evaluate whether or not that item actually belongs in your closet long term. If you never actually end up wearing it out of the house, it might be time to let go of that garment. So just ask yourself, does this item belong in my life long term? And make the decision to either keep it or not keep it from there. Of course, the same thing goes too for anything you come across that may have rips, stains, tears, that doesn't fit the way that it used to, or that just isn't flattering. All of those items are great candidates for your donation box. And then last but not least is to fully empty out your purse or bag whenever you get home from being out. Get rid of any trash, paper, clutter, receipts, or just other clutter that might be taking up space in your bag. If you just start doing this out of habit right as you walk through the door, it's going to help you to maintain a tidy and organized bag. All right, well, those are some of my favorite 1-minute decluttering habits that help keep clutter at bay in my home. Now, I would love to hear from you. What are some of your favorite quick and easy decluttering habits, and how do they help you? I would love to hear about them, so be sure to let me know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Bye!